Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. As you can see, my toddler was running around during this video, so I'm not starting with an intro. I'm not gonna do a whole big long-winded thing. We're just starting and we're making pie today. And spoiler alert, this was probably the best pie I've ever made in my life. So you're gonna wanna watch this. I will link the recipes below because I used a peach pie recipe. I also used a separate crust recipe. They both turned out absolutely amazing. Okay, so today we're starting with the pie crust. Now this was pretty simple to do. It just requires a food processor, a big bowl, and all of your ingredients. So what I missed filming was combining together all of my dry ingredients, flour, sugar, and salt. And I actually did this in halves. I food processed it in halves because I was a little concerned that my food processor was gonna be too small to correctly process. So you have your butter ice cold, cut up into cubes. You put all your dry ingredients in the food processor and then pulse in your butter until it's kind of crumb-like. So I did that for both halves of my recipe. It only took, I don't know, probably 10-15 seconds to get it to the point of being crumbly. If you don't cut up your butter into small enough chunks though, they can form like big balls of butter almost, so just be careful about that. But other than that, pretty simple. That forms the base of your dough. So again, I did it for the first half, then you can see here I'm doing it again for the second half, and then we will add water and form our dough. Okay, we've made it to the portion where we're adding water. So it basically says once, your whole dry ingredients and butter are combined, you're gonna just dribble in a couple tablespoons of ice cold water at a time. So I filled a cup with water, like the measuring cup, put an ice cube in it, stirred it around, and then you just slowly started adding water. I actually didn't add the entire cup. It basically just says to go until big clumps start forming, and that's when you know you'll be able to knead it into a solid dough. So I floured the surface, dumped it out, and then you just start kneading until you get it into a ball. At this point, I was making a double batch, and this pie recipe is for a top crust and a bottom crust. So it's basically 4 different crusts. I rolled it out and divided it into fourths. Usually I kind of eyeball it, but I really wanted these pies to be perfect. So I actually did take a kitchen scale and measure my pie dough, evened them out as I went, and they all ended up being about 300 grams. Okay, now is the time to wrap them all in saran wrap. You refrigerate them for at least 1 hour, but you can keep them in the fridge for up to 5 days. I did like somewhere in between, probably 3 hours. Once the pie crust was made and in the fridge, it was time to blanch the peaches. Okay, this says I need 6 to 8 peaches per pie. So I'm gonna try to choose the softest ones because a lot of them are a little bit close to being overripe. But I think that's fine for pie. So I'm gonna pick out 12 or maybe like 14 peaches to meet in the middle. And I'm gonna have to do this in rounds. Here's my first 7. Okay, I need to get a bowl of ice water ready because I need to plunge them in the bowl of ice water. I need to wash this bowl out because I just used it for the pie crust. Okay, I have water, I'm gonna put ice in it. So whenever I've made peach stuff in the past, I haven't wanted to take the time to actually boil water, put them in the boiling water, then make an ice bath, put them in the ice bath, and then peel the skin. I've thought, you know, that seems like it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. I'll just peel the peaches. And I will tell you definitively after doing this, I am never gonna try to peel a peach again. It is the most infuriating thing. It's like impossible to peel peaches. It's so hard. And when you blanch them, it is so stinking easy. So if you've been avoiding blanching like me, just don't avoid it and try it out. Okay, while the other peaches are boiling, I'm gonna peel off the skin, and as promised, the skin peels just right off. Super easy, so that worked great. Okay, the next step was emptying my water pot and then cubing all these peaches and putting them back in that big pot. This part was a little harder because you can't just have the peaches and twist because they're so soft from the blanching and it gets really messy. So I just tried to dice them kind of around the pit. Look at how pretty those are. These are Palisade peaches. It's a big season for us in Colorado with our big, juicy Palisade peaches. It's like the time of the year I now look forward to the most now that I actually bake. So they're just so pretty and so good. Okay, so the next step was taking out the pie crust and working with the pie crust. I was gonna roll 2 pie crusts out for the bottom and 2 for the top and do a lattice on the top. I thought I would get a head start. Well, first of all, this pie crust on the bottom, it wasn't big enough. So you'll see here, I just fail at putting it on the bottom. I had to take it out and re-roll it so it was bigger. Eventually, I did roll it out thinner, got it to fit, and then I started adding stuff to my filling. Now you add lemon juice, some cinnamon, some nutmeg, some sugar, mix it all together, and the last step of the filling was to add cornstarch. Now, as you'll see here soon, oh yeah, you add brown sugar as well. Forgot that in my list. But as you can see here soon, I realized I did not have any cornstarch, and my mom ended up being able to run some cornstarch over. They live about 15 minutes away, but at this moment I was panicking because my time was running out of, you know, having it done in time for me to go to bed. I really wanted my sleep that night. So anyway, I put that on pause and went back to the pie crust. I thought I could get ahead by creating the lattice on the counter and then transferring it somehow to the top of the pie once the filling was done. I soon realized that this is not practical. It is, as you can see, very hard to move. I scrapped that, took it all apart, and just layered the strips and set them over in a pile off to the side for a little bit so that when I was actually ready to use the top and to put the tops on, I would have them. My mom came through with the cornstarch. Thank you, Mom. This was a lifesaver. In the meantime, as you can see, I rolled out both bottom pie crusts, put them in the pie plates, and then I am now getting back to the filling, adding 8 tablespoons of cornstarch into my pie filling. From here, the rest is pretty simple. I just kind of ladled my peach mixture into each one of the pies as evenly as I could. I tried to avoid having too much liquid in there. I don't think it's really a problem because we did have so much cornstarch. I think it would have gelled up, but I was really nervous about soggy bottom pies. Now, I had heard of this trick where you put an upside down or preheated baking sheet under your pies. Since I was doing 2, there was no baking sheet that I had that fit both pies, and so I got all concerned, and I don't know, I ended up not doing that trick. The pie turned out totally fine. The bottoms were not very soggy, so, you know, I think it kind of depends on your oven, on what pie plates you're using, and, you know, it didn't happen with mine, so just let that be a comfort, but you might need to preheat your baking sheets. Okay, now I started the actual lattice again. On the pie, it worked much, much better this time. I loved the look of how these turned out. I think the lattice top is just like gonna be my new go-to. It's so much cuter in my opinion than just a flat one. I mean, I like the full pie crust on top as well, but the lattice is just so adorable, makes it seem old-fashioned. I love it. So I did the lattice for both pies, crimped all the edges. I folded up the bottom and crimped them kind of over the lattice to hold them in place. And I did that to the other pie off camera, put them both on the middle rack at 400 degrees. And you're supposed to bake them for 20 to 25 minutes at 400 degrees and then lower the heat. And if they get too brown on the top too quickly, tint them with foil. And look at how this pie turned out. I mean, have you ever seen a prettier pie? I have, because that one corner kind of collapsed. So, you know, I technically have seen a prettier pie, but this, I just have to tell you, was so pretty, so delicious, and it was just the best pie I've ever made. So I would highly recommend you making this pie if you still have some peaches left over. And I just want to thank you all so much for watching my channel. I hope you learned something. I will link all of the pies down below, the recipes and the crust recipe. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.